So what you see in front of you is a portrait that I drew 3 years ago. It's the lion and the lamb, right? The lion's mane and the lamb's face. Jesus' name, my hand, right? Love, Jesus, angel wings, my middle name, the cross, and God's name, Yahweh. So what inspired this portrait was me coming to God, to Christ for the first time in my life. And the way I came to Christ for the first time in my life was that I met this young lady on an online dating site. And this was maybe a day or two after asking God, is there something more? I didn't even believe there was a God, but I just asked. I said, well, if I died, I probably would deserve to go to hell, is what I said. And I was scared. I was terrified. And, somehow, I ended up going on a dating site, forgetting all about God, and meeting this young lady who stood out from every single woman on that dating profile. So we meet up, we start talking, we start hanging out a little bit. And, I pretty much made it clear that I was only really looking for one thing. But there was something in her that I wanted that I couldn't quite put my finger on. And the whole time we was dating, she was talking about God and Jesus and all this other stuff that was just bizarre to me. She was ministering to me without even me knowing she was ministering to me. So fast forward a couple of months rather, and eventually I end up coming to Christ. I'm in my car, I'm begging God, I'm praying to God, I'm asking God, I said, Lord, if you are real, then forgive me of my sins. Later that night, as before I went to bed, I asked God, I said, look, just give me a sign that I'm saved. I don't know that I'm saved, but if I am, I would like for you to let me know. I fall asleep. Next thing you know, I'm in this dark pit, this bottomless black hole. You cannot believe how dark this place was. If you can imagine being punched in the stomach and having the life literally sucked out of you is what this place was like. You was constantly out of breath, even if you wasn't running or no exercise. You were being chased by demons, being laughed at, being screamed at, being prodded with. It was just such a terrible place. So eventually I got tired of running around, and I got down on my knees and I started praying. I asked God, I said, Lord, get me out of this place. Get me out of this place, Jesus. Please, Jesus. I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to be here no more. And I'm tired of running. I just want to be with you, Father. I just want to be with you, Christ. Next thing you know, I had this overwhelming sense of peace come over me. And it just felt like love. And I could not believe how calm I was considering the environment that I was in. So I look around looking for the source of this love and look over to my right, and I see this bright light shining through the pits of hell. So naturally, I'm running over to this light because it was the only source of light that there was in existence. And as I get closer to the light and I look up through this hole, it is the most brilliant light I've ever seen. Next thing you know, I see this giant hand come in through the light. And then I see myself reaching up with my left hand. But my hand was not like a man's or adult's hand. It was like an infant's hand. It looked just like this, almost like a baby. And so I lift up my hand, and if I had to guess, my hand probably reached up about 1% of the way there. There was no way I could possibly stretch up my arm and reach up out of that place. I could not get myself out of hell. But God's hand reached down 99% of the way into the hole to grab me. I almost did not think it was possible because I thought I had to meet him even halfway there. But I only needed to have the faith of a mustard seed and reach up 1%. So I reach out with my hand, he grabs mine, and this is exactly what I saw. This is exactly what took place, except it was like 10 times, 1,000 times the size of this hand. And it was just incredible to see, and he grabbed me, he starts pulling me not to his side, but pulling me in him. And as he's pulling me slowly into himself, I slowly wake up out of my dream, and I'm crying tears of joy and sadness. Tears of joy because he had confirmed in my dream the answer to my prayer but tears of sadness because I was not there in that dream any longer. I had actually thought that that dream was real, and I did not want to leave. I did not want to leave the presence of God. And I know He hadn't left me, but to be quite honest with you, I would not have minded at all if I was not alive at that time. I was completely at peace with it. I didn't even know I was alive because I felt like I was already dead, but I didn't know I was alive until I woke up and realized, wow, okay, I'm still in my body. So that was my experience being in hell and then being pulled up out of hell, and God letting me know that I am His child, literally a child of God. And so that's the inspiration behind this post. That's my salvation story. Happened 3 years ago. And whenever you have your down moments, just look back at the times when you got saved and realize that God still got your hand too.